of the Quran, and they're like the deep sea divers, going into the Quran, going into the sea, taking out pearls, taking out different lessons and different things for us to ponder over. And so inshallah ta'ala, once we go on this journey of learning Arabic, at least we'll get to the level 1, which we'll start to understand the Quran and enjoy the Quran. So here we have, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. That is the book. ذلك الكتاب. Al-Kitab. Al-Kitab is kitab, which is from kataba yaktubu kitabatan, which means to write, and kitab is something that is maktub. Kitab is something that is ala wazn fi'al, and something that is maktub means something that is written. So a book. Okay. So ذلك الكتاب. That is the book. And one of the things the ulama mention is that if you look at Surah Fatiha, Surah Fatiha is, the whole thing is like a dua. Okay, we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the du'as we make in Surah Fatiha, the main dua that we make in there is Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. Okay? We're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us towards the straight path. Guide us towards that straight path. And that's Siratal Mustaqim. So the ulama say that after the, we say Ameen. After that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Surah Baqarah, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. This is the answer to our dua. And the answer to the dua in Surah Fatiha is the whole Quran. So when we do that dua, the answer to that dua, the hidayat, and like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this ayah, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ. Rayb is actually doubt. Okay? So Raba Yaribu Rayba, which means to have doubt. La Rayb, there is no doubt. La, which is the nafi, it's a particle for nafi, meaning there is no doubt. Okay, so no, la rayba fi, there is no doubt in it. Fihi hudan lil muttaqin. Okay, la rayba fi hudan lil muttaqin. It is a guidance for the muttaqin. And if you look at this, we talked about earlier, the 3 dots. Let's change it the way we cite it. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ. Stop. فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. If we translate that, we say ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ. That is the book, no doubt. Okay, this is the book. This is the book you're asking for. This is the thing you're asking for. This is the book, no doubt. فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. In it is the guidance for muttaqin, for the pious, for the people of taqwa, those who are God-fearing. And the other way to recite it, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. That is the book, or this is the book, there is no doubt in it. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is a guidance for all the pious people, or for all the God-fearing people. So we have that fihi. Fi is from the harf jar. It's a particle which means in. Okay, fihi, in it. So la rayba fi, there is no doubt in it. Hudan lil muttaqin. Hudan is from hada yahdi hidayatan, which means guidance. Lil muttaqin. Al muttaqin from ittaqa. Okay, ittaqa or taqwa. Basically, the root is from taqwa, and the even going further into the root is from waqa yaqi. Waqa yaqi wiqayatan, which means to protect. Okay, to protect yourself from harm or from something that you're afraid of. So muttaqin is from ittaqa. Actually, it was iwtaqa. This is a little bit sarf, and if you don't understand, it's okay. We're gonna, that goes on later. But iwtaqa. So bab ifti'al is iwtaqa, so to protect yourself. And one of the things, I'm sure you've heard this, the famous story about Umar bin Khattab. He was sitting with the companions, and he asked one of the Sahaba, he says, what is taqwa? Can you explain to us what is taqwa? What's the meaning of taqwa? And this Sahabi, he says, have you ever walked through a valley or through a path where there was thorns, like thorn bushes on each side? And they said, yeah, many times. In that time, in the desert, there was thorns or bushes and that kind of stuff. And they would go through that sometimes and walk through that. So he says that, have you ever done that? And he says, yes. He goes, well, what did you do with your clothing? And remember at that time, nowadays, it's the style is to wear, alhamdulillah, now it's going back, and now we have baggy clothes again. But it started, in the 70s, 80s, I think more like 80s, was it? I was born in 81, but I don't know, 80s. They started wearing tighter and tighter clothes, okay? They started getting tighter clothes. At that time, they had clothes that were just open, loose-fitting clothes. They would wear the thiyab, clothes like this. And he asked him, he said, what would you do when you walk through that path? He said, he showed him, he said, grab my clothes and you wrap it around yourself, clothes. And you be careful, you take each step carefully so as not to get your clothes caught in the thorn. So that you don't rip your clothes apart, right? In the same way, taqwa is to protect yourself from the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or anything that angers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you do not get caught into that sin. So that's what taqwa is. Excuse me. So here we have the point I wanted to make actually was to pick out a demonstrative pronoun. Ism ishara in this ayah is the word dhalika, barakallahu feek. Okay, dhalika, which means this, or in this example means this, but basically means that, something that is far away. Next ayah, I'd like you guys to do this as homework, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, to go into this ayah and you don't have to go into the grammar aspects, but I want you to find there's an ism ishara in this. I think you can, inshallah, it's easy. You can probably find that already right now. Just look through that and underline that, inshallah ta'ala, if you find that. Next ayah, we have أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن في ذلك لآية لمن خاف عذاب الآخرة ذلك يوم مجموع له الناس وذلك يوم مشهود. So here we have an ayah talking about the day of judgment. Inna, this is from Inna wa akhawatiha. This is also something we're going to talk. I think lesson 10 is about Inna wa akhawatiha, which I call the nasab gang. It's like a mafia, it's like a gang, okay? So we have the nasab gang, and we'll talk about the members of this gang, of this mafia, inshallah, in the lesson number 10. So inna fi dhalika, verily, which inna means verily, it's for tawheed. So verily, fi dhalika, in that, okay? So we have dhalika, which is ism ishara, la ayah, lam also for tawheed again, la ayah again, we know it's a miracle, verse, it's something, a sign, okay? Inna fi dhalika, in that is an ayah, is a sign. Liman, for the one who khafa adab al-akhirah. The one khafa yakhufu khawfan. Sorry, khafa yakhafu khawfan. Okay, khafa yakhafu khawfan, which means to be afraid of something. And khaif, someone who is afraid. So khafa yakhafu khawfan, which means to be afraid. For the one who is afraid, the one who is afraid of adab al-akhirah, from the adab. Adaba yu'adhibu ta'deeb. Okay, adab is from adab means to give punishment, to punish someone. So adab, punishment, adab al-akhirah, from the punishment of the akhirah, the punishment of the next life. So the one who fears the next life, that person will see an ayah and a sign in this. ذَلِكَ يَوْمٌ مَجْمُوعٌ لَهُ. That is a day, يَوْمٌ مَجْمُوعٌ لَهُ النَّاسِ. Okay, lahu النَّاسِ. That is the day where the people, yawmun, which is a day, majmu'an, from jama'a yajma'u jama'atan, or jama'an, which means to gather. So that is a day where people will be gathered. Lahun nas, on that day, for that day, the people will be gathered. وَذَلِكَ يَوْمٌ مَشْهُودٌ. And that is a day which is mashhud. Here I'd like to ask you guys, ذَلِكَ and ذَلِكَ, I know that's simple, that is some ishara, we can go over that, skip that. What is the mawsuf and sifa in here? And this is the tricky part. Barakallahu feek, you're close. Actually, there's only one. There's only murakkab tawsifi. There's only one. What's it called in this? There's one. Actually, we'll skip the first one. We'll talk about that some other time. Yawmun majmu'un lahu an-nas. Yawmun majmu', you're right in a way. This is a murakkab tawsifi, but there's more detail to that. So we'll skip that because yawmun is the day, and majmu'un is actually saying the day that people will be gathered. Lahun nas. Majmu'an is actually describing the people. The people will be gathered. The day will not be gathered, but the people will be gathered. So we'll skip that right now. But we have another murakkab tawsifi. Barakallahu feekum. You have ذَلِكَ يَوْمٌ مَشْهُودٌ. Okay, يَوْمٌ مَشْهُودٌ. which means the day that will be witnessed. A witnessing day, or yeah, kind of like that, okay? I don't know how day which will be witnessed, okay? So you have yawmun mashhud. Shahida yashhadu shahadatan, which means to witness something, to see something happen. Okay, so like a shahid is someone who is a witness. Okay, it could be like witness stand or whatever. So here a day that will be witness, yawmun mashhud, a day that will be witnessed. Okay, so you have yawm is the mawsuf, and then you have the sifa, which is mashhud. Okay, the day that will be seen, the day that will be witnessed by all will be that day, so yawmun mashhud. And we looked again, the four things. Can someone tell me without looking back, what are the four things that they have to be matching in? So, a little louder, please. Okay. Barakallah. Yes. So you have ta'rif, okay? We said ta'rif, which is indefinite, definite. And this is indefinite again because the tanween at the end. Okay, so we know it's talking about a day, yawmun mashhud, okay, yawmun mashhud, a day that will be a witness. And then you have the adad, which is yawm is 1 day, ayyam, okay, ayyam and is days, okay, multiple, or yawman will be 2 days, for example. So this is singular, this is only 1 day it's talked about. Mashhud also is singular. If you wanted to make it double, again, that's something coming up, or yawmani mashhudan, for example, or something. But you have yawmun mashhud, so they're in adad, they're the same, ta'rif, indefiniteness, they're the same. We have jins. Yawmun is a masculine word, mashhud is also masculine. And then we have, the fourth thing was, what did I say so far? I'rab, yes, I'rab, jazakallah. So we have I'rab, both end in the marfu state, which will also, don't worry about that right now. Marfu state meaning that they have dhamma at the end. They both have dhamma at the end. So this is yawmun mashhud. Okay. Next ayah. Which time do we have? Okay, we have about 20 minutes inshallah. So we're going at a good pace inshallah. So next ayah. This is from Surah Yusuf. Can someone read this, please? Okay, so here we have, this is from Surah Yusuf, and this is the story, the famous story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Let's go into the words first, and then I'll explain to you a little bit. So we have qala, he said. Who said this? Yaqub alayhi salam. What did he say? Bal, he said rather. Excuse me. Sawwala, yusawwir tasweer, which means zayyana. Okay, zayyana, yuzayyinu tazyin, which means to make something beautiful, to beautify something. So qala bal sawwalat lakum, for you, anfusukum. Your nafs is singular, and anfus is the jama of that. So your desires, yourself, you made this thing beautiful in your eyes. You made this sin of what they did, and we'll talk about that inshallah. Well, you made this beautiful in your sight. Amra, you made this amr, you made this action or this affair that you guys did. You made it beautiful in your eyes. فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. Sabrun jameel, meaning a beautiful patience. Asallah, so I hope from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala an ya'tiyani, that He will bring bihim jami'a, then He will bring them back jami'a. Innahu huwa al-alim al-hakim. Okay, so innahu huwa al-alim al-hakim. So verily He is the alim, which is alima ya'lamu ilman, which means knowledge, and alim is sifa mushabbaha, which means the one who knows all. Okay, al-alim, the one who knows all. This is one of the asma Allah, the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-hakim from hikmah. Okay, excuse me, from hikmah, which is wisdom. Okay, so we have hikmah, which is wisdom, and hakim is the all-wise. Al-hakim is the all-wise. Here, this ayah, actually we know that we talked about Surah Yusuf, I said that this is from Surah Yusuf, and Yaqub alayhi salam, he is the one who is saying these words, and he's speaking of this, and this is actually the second time he said this. The first time he says similar wording is in the beginning of Surah Yusuf, and then this is towards the end when they go and they lose Binyamin also. Not only Yusuf alayhi salam was in the beginning, then they lost Binyamin. And not only Binyamin, then one of the brothers, he says, you know what, I'm going to stay here. I'm not moving from this place and because we made a promise to our father that we're going to bring back Binyamin with us. And now that he's stuck with the king, which they didn't know who was Yusuf alayhi salam, that I'm going to stay here, I'm going to stick around, I'm not going to go back. The Yaqub alayhi salam, he said, no, but you guys have done something again. You guys did this again when years ago. You did this before and now again. And we know years ago, what did they do? They did to Yusuf alayhi salam, they started to get jealous of him, that the father loves him more than them, you know, that kind of thing. They made up a whole story, they made up this whole thing, that you know what, they made this elaborate plan, that let's get our father to give us ijazah to take our brother, we'll take him out, and there's a well in that place, and we'll throw him into the well. So they made this whole plan. They talked to their dad. They said, we want to go, you know, you've never sent him out. We never play. He's our younger brother. We love him. We're older. We could protect him and, you know, let him come play with us. Just like we go and run around, play soccer, football, whatever, and playing around. Let him come play with us. And then he said to him that I'm afraid that he's going to be eaten by a wolf, that some wolf will eat him. He was a small boy at that time. Yaqub alayhi salam loved him so much, he was afraid for him. And he knew the jealousy. He could feel, you know, the father knows. And he not only was he a father, but he was a Nabi. He was a prophet. So he knew what's going on a little bit. He could feel that they have hasad, they're jealous. He was afraid that they might hurt him or harm him in some way. He didn't want to send him out. The first time they did this, they took him out and they started playing whatever they're doing. After a while, all of a sudden they grabbed Yusuf alayhi salam. And you know, this is a younger brother, he looks up to his older brothers. Imagine what this child was going through. And they take off his shirt and they throw him into the well. After that, they get a lamb or a goat or something, a sheep, and they slaughter it. And they take the shirt of Yusuf alayhi salam and they drench it in the blood. They drench it in the blood and they bring the they bring in this fake blood or whatever, this lying blood, you could say, you translate literally. They take it back and they said that this is the shirt of Yusuf and he's been eaten by a wolf. Just like you told us, excuse me, just like you told us, Dad, that he was going to be, I'm afraid that he might be eaten by a wolf. This is what happened. So they came up with this elaborate plan, there's a story, and they came back to it, and again, Yaqub alayhi salam, he knew what's going on. He, first of all, you guys, I'm sure you heard this before, the Mufassirun, they say that Yaqub alayhi salam, he came, he sees this, the shirt is intact. A wolf, when it eats something, or a lion, or whatever animal, when it comes and eats its prey, it's not going to ask, you know, Yusuf alayhi salam, you know, unbutton your shirt and take off your shirt for me, and you know, I'm about to eat you, and you know, do this, and then the blood comes. The shirt was intact. So this showed that there's something up here. So Yaqub alayhi salam, he knew this, he knew something was going on. So he says to his sons at that time, he said, "Bal sawwalat lakum anfusukum amra," meaning that this is something that you guys have done. You guys have done something, and this is not. He didn't tell them outright that you're lying. He's saying that there's something else going on. There's something cooking in the oven or in the kitchen. So he says to him that فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ, I'll have patience. And he had that patience. For years on end, he had that patience. And actually, you know, if you look at it, the elaborate plan, this reminds me of one of the, there's a joke actually about this. There was three travelers, okay, they're traveling, and they're going together out in the desert, whatever. Their supplies run out. They don't have any food, they don't have anything to drink. All they have left is like a bowl of milk. Okay, they have like a bowl of milk, or you could say like a container of milk. Now, they're trying to say who's gonna drink the milk? Who's gonna get the last drink? And they make an agreement with each other. Why don't we do this? Let's fall asleep. Let's go to sleep tonight. And whoever has the best dream, they'll get the milk. They'll get to drink the milk. So what they do is, and you remember Yusuf alayhi salam, he was told the dreams. He was given the Tawheed Ru'ya. He was given what's that? How would you say it? Interpretations. So they give the interpretations of the dreams. So these guys, they said, let's have whoever has the best dream, they'll get the milk. So they all fall asleep. Now they wake up in the morning, and they're all excited to tell their story and see what's going on. The first one, he's like, okay, I'll go first. And he thinks that he has the best story. He goes, you wouldn't believe what happened to me last night. So I fell asleep, and all of a sudden I hear like a horse, and this beautiful stallion or this beautiful white horse or whatever comes. And I was told by an angel to sit on this horse. I got on, and it took me up to the third heaven. And I saw this, and I saw that. I saw the beautiful stars, and I saw all these, elaborate things, describing all these things. And it was just amazing. This is what happened. Now, and he thinks that he's going to win the competition. The second guy, he goes, that's a nice dream, but I have something better. He goes, what happened? What did you see? He goes, okay, I was sleeping, and all of a sudden an angel comes to me, and Burak himself, comes to me. Burak is the animal that Rasulullah rode to Jerusalem. So he says that Burak comes to me, and I'm ordered to go up to the seventh heaven. Okay, he's trying to one-up him. Okay, so he says I go up to the seventh heaven, and I see the beautiful colors, and I see these things I cannot even imagine. So he said, okay, that's that's amazing. That's a nice dream. And then they turn to the third person, and they say to him, that, what did you see? Can you explain what you saw? And he goes, well, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to tell you guys. And he's just trying to be quiet. He's like, no, you got to tell. This is we have the agreement. He says, no, you guys wouldn't believe it, so I just forget about it. Don't worry about it. He says, no. They force him. They go, you have to tell us, no matter what. He says, I was sleeping, and all of a sudden I was awoken by a knight on a horse. And this guy, he has a huge spear. And he puts it to me, and he says, give up right away. So I stood up, okay, he stands up, and the knight tells him that, go climb up the tree, and bring back the milk. And this guy, he says, I was worried that he wanted the milk. He's worried that the guy wants the milk. So he says that, and I told him, I said, no, we have agreement, you're gonna see, we're gonna see the dream, and then in the morning we're gonna decide who gets the milk. He says, no. Either you go up there and bring it down, or I'm going to kill you. Okay, he says, I just went up. What could I do? I went up, I got the milk, I came down. He said, open it. And then he told me to drink it. And he says that I started drinking, and then I started thinking about you guys. So I stopped drinking. I took it out, I said, stop. He says, no, drink more. He goes, no, I want to leave some for my companions. I don't want to drink it all myself. He says, no, either you drink it or you're going to die. You're going to die here right now. I'm going to stab you. He says, I started drinking, and I finished the whole thing. The guy's like, what? You finished the milk? Why didn't you wake us up? We were right there. We were right next to it. You could have waited. We could have tried to help you. We could have protected you. We could have killed you. We could have defended you. Something. What am I supposed to do? You're in the third heaven. You're in the seventh heaven. So you see the imagination, how people can think about such things. And we see that Allah protects us. In this ayah, Yaqub alayhi salam, he said, قَالَ بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا. That you have beautified itself. Your imagination, your nafs, your desire has beautified it for yourself. You're making excuses for yourself that, let me do this. So Allah protect us from being like that. In this ayah, I want to ask you really fast, there's the sifa and mawsuf here. Can someone tell me there's actually two of them? Barakallah fikum. Okay, the sisters got both. I think I heard something here too. Barakallah fikum. So you have the first one, sabrun jameel. Okay, sabrun jameel. Again, going back to those four things. Adad, sabr is one. Ta'rif, they're both indefinite. Jins, it's a masculine word. And in Arab, they both have the dhamma at the end. Okay? So these four things, they equal each other, they're matching each other. This is sifa mawsuf. The next one, the sister said, Al-Alim al-Hakim. Now we see a little bit difference here. Al-Alim al-Hakim. Here we have Al-Alim and Al-Hakim. These actually, you